Welcome back to our deep dive discussion on WoW Classic versus WoW Retail. I hope you are all enjoying the series so far, and if you are, please drop a like and a subscription while you listen to the soothing sounds of this video. I greatly appreciate it. It really means a lot. Without further ado, let's get started on part 3 of our series on WoW Classic versus Retail. All societies, whether they be communist, capitalist, or somewhere in between, rely on the same basic human psychology to thrive. The need to fit in, be loved, and be respected by our peers and family members is one of the strongest natural motivations a healthy human being experiences. People experience terrible, debilitating mental health issues when they are lacking positive social reinforcement or constantly experiencing negative social reinforcement, such as bullying, abusive parenting, or being ostracized at school or work. We experience these negative emotions because our evolutionary success has always been determined by our ability to cooperate and communicate within a group. Before modern society, people truly needed each other to survive. Tribe members who were cooperative and had good social skills were more likely to succeed and be accepted within the group, therefore increasing their chance of survival and reproduction. Over time, our brains develop deep-rooted reward systems for positive and negative social interaction. The better developed your reward system was, the more likely you were to succeed in surviving and thriving with the tribe. In a true capitalist society, such as the early United States, the labor market is designed in such a way that tends to provide those who are capable of producing more specialized, difficult, or important labor with more reward. That is to say, both material wealth and social status. WoW Classic's world and reward system greatly imitates, and in fact is, a true capitalist society. One may even say it is libertarian in that the market value of labor, gear, and materials is 100% determined by the members of that market. A PvP server may have Black Lotus for sale at 140 gold, while a PvE server it may only be 40 to 60 gold. There's absolutely no legislative interference from either the governments of Azeroth or the all-powerful developer gods at Blizzard. They have intentionally left the game as is for the express purpose of allowing the markets of labor and skill to develop naturally, and have intelligently decided to avoid interfering with the game's design and the original code, besides for spell batching. Those who are more skilled at farming, organizing, and playing their class have a distinct advantage over those that are less skilled, and this creates a natural hierarchy of skill and wealth throughout every server in the game. WoW Classic does an amazing job of emulating the need to thrive with the need to not only socialize, but properly socialize and recognize one's place in a naturally developed hierarchy of varying needs and skill sets. Trust me, if you truly want success in-game, then you want to play with a guild of players that prioritizes their main tank getting loot as fast as possible. You want to play with a guild that requires consumables and understanding of the fight mechanics. You want to play with a guild that has a naturally developed and structured hierarchy because a properly developed hierarchy means a greater chance of success as a group, just like in modern society. A capitalist economy like that seen in WoW Classic or the United States of America rewards those who put more into the system, whether it be through effort, talent, or both, with more reward for doing so. A doctor should make more than a food service worker because the doctor's labor is both far more difficult to become proficient at and far more necessary to the proper running of the society which he provides healthcare. In Classic, proficiency at the game and an understanding of the economy provides the player with a massive advantage when compared to the limited advantage that proficiency and understand provide players in Retail. Of course, excluding Mythic and Mythic Plus rating, gameplay systems that were created to appease those who found Retail lacking in the emergent hierarchical ladder that they so enjoyed in vanilla all the way through Wrath of the Lich King. Mounts, gold, and gear are far more difficult to acquire and time-gated in Classic, resulting in the emergence of a natural hierarchy just like those seen in nature among tribes of chimpanzees and humans alike. Those that are most skilled at organizing and leading enjoy the best success with their guilds, while other guilds tend to become hard stuck on bosses that require a certain threshold of talent and dedication. Many, around 80%, of guilds are 8 out of 8 Blackwing Glare, but many guilds are also hard stuck on bosses like Vale, Firemaw, and Nefarian because they simply lack the human and in-game resources to move further. That statistic is just based off of the guilds that have uploaded logs to warcraftlogs.com, by the way. These guilds, and the players within them, do not receive gear handouts meant to supplement their lack of dedication or skill in the game. In Classic, there are no welfare epics. There are no additional gameplay systems in place to provide an easier alternative path to gaining strength, power, and wealth. Instead, there is a single path forward, which is to improve one's own talents and dedication, as well as either improve their organization amongst their chosen tribe or find a stronger one. Guilds function much like tribes, or like corporations and companies do in a capitalist system, and only the most dedicated, serious, and talented guilds find long-standing success in the rough world of Classic's Azeroth, just like only the best corporations and companies find success in a true capitalist society. There are no bailouts in WoW Classic. Bad raid and or guild leading is a surefire way to ensure your organization flounders, which is why so many guilds fail to see Naxxramas or AQ40 in vanilla. The game provides no hand-holding to the players, and as the harder tier raids are released, its natural hierarchies become far more pronounced because of this absence of hand-holding and the increased difficulty of later raids, as well as the increased power of those characters who can overcome these later raid tiers. These hierarchies are no different than the vast wealth and power gaps seen in a capitalist society, regardless of if that society is an early, middle, or late-stage capitalism. Further, these hierarchies, because of the limited interference from outside forces inherent to the true capitalist model, far better represent the way social hierarchies develop in nature among a tribe of human beings. Classic's emergent social and power hierarchies, in turn, offer its players a far more natural pecking order in terms of both individual power and power within the group, in this case, the guild, and the society as a whole, in this case, the server. Players therefore tend to find more motivation and reward within the intertwined social and gameplay systems of WoW Classic, precisely because Classic gives them an intuitively understandable model for progress not only within the game itself, but within the myriad of guilds and sub-communities that make up the society of a server. This inevitably leads to a gameplay loop that rewards players in an instinctually fundamental way. In my first video, I talked about how the process of mastery tends to be a key component in how fun a game is. In WoW Classic, the game provides us with the opportunity to not only be rewarded intrinsically by mastering fun and interesting gameplay mechanics, but also be rewarded with social status and power within our virtual society. Powerful extrinsic rewards, such as social status and respect in our tribe, are motivations that have been fundamental to our success as a species and thus hardwired into our brains over millennia. This is precisely why WoW Classic so much better captures its audience, regardless of Retail's superior gameplay and content. A WoW Classic player's obsession with improving his character is just a virtual, microcosmic version of an American chasing the American dream of wealth and power. I really hope you all enjoyed this unique take on the whole Classic versus Retail debate. And if you did, please drop me a like and subscribe so you can be updated when the next video in this series is released, hopefully in the next few days. In the next video, we will talk about how Retail takes the opposite approach of Classic and why that tends to cause issues in terms of its long-term retention and fun factor. Until then, I'll see you all in Libertarian Azeroth.